Think about how we raise our kids today. Are we coaching them to win the first quarter of the game, or are we preparing them for the entire championship, for the long haul?
And right here, you see the two competing philosophies. On one side, you've got winning early. It's a checklist, right? Get the good grades, get into the fancy school, land the impressive job. But the old money view, it's a totally different game. It's not about a fast start. It's about making sure the whole enterprise, the family line itself, doesn't crumble 2 or 3 generations down the road.
And the reason for this long-term view is because in this playbook, the first child carries a tremendous responsibility. They're not just another kid. They are the literal cornerstone. The entire future of the family is built upon their shoulders.
So how do you build a cornerstone like that? Well, it starts with our first big idea, character and resilience. We're talking about the bedrock of the legacy. This is all about internal strength, not just external achievements you can put on a resume.
You know the common approach because we see it everywhere. Parents are constantly pushing their firstborn to achieve. Collect the trophies, get the top ranking, build that perfect, flawless resume. It's this relentless chase for external validation.
And what does a child learn from this constant pressure cooker of praise and fear? They internalize a really dangerous message. My value as a person is tied directly to my results. And when that kid grows up, that thinking can lead to crippling anxiety and a deep-seated fear of failure.
This table just lays out the two paths so clearly. For most people, what's valued? Trophies and ranks. The method? Praise and pressure. The end goal? A killer resume. But the old money way is different. The value is in integrity and self-control. The method is just quietly observing their character. And the goal isn't a strong resume, it's a strong character. Because they know that character is what makes wealth last, not just a high IQ.
Now this brings us to another huge mistake. A lot of parents think, well, the firstborn has all this pressure, they sacrifice so much, so they try to compensate. They shield them from every little discomfort, make excuses for them, and wrap them in emotional bubble wrap.
But that protection completely backfires, because here's the hard truth. Strength is trained, not gifted. It's a muscle. You can't just hand someone resilience and say, here you go. It has to be built.
And you can see the difference in how that building happens. Most people offer that emotional protection and a long list of excuses. The old money playbook, it deliberately allows for small, manageable struggles. It exposes the child to real, age-appropriate consequences. The idea is to teach them to carry a little weight when they're young, so the crushing weight of adult life doesn't break them later.
Okay, next up, let's talk about power and trust. This section is all about shifting how we think about wealth and influence. It's less about getting attention and more about earning trust.
I mean, think about the world we live in right now, especially with social media. Kids are taught from day one to speak up, post everything, make themselves visible. The unspoken rule is, if you're not being seen and heard, you don't matter.
But this leads to a really fundamental misunderstanding. We start to believe that noise equals power, that the person with the most followers or the loudest voice is the one with real influence. But true power, it often moves in complete silence. So the old money path to influence is the total opposite of just making noise. It's a strategy. It's a process. First, you listen way more than you talk. Second, you use that information to really read the room, to understand the hidden dynamics. Third, you wait. You're patient. You wait for the perfect moment to make your move. And finally, when you do speak, your goal isn't just to get attention. It's to control the outcome. That is quiet influence.
All right, let's talk about money itself. The typical advice parents give their firstborn is, well, it's pretty simple, isn't it? Just make sure you can earn a good living. The whole focus is on income, on making money.
But this playbook introduces a much deeper concept: stewardship. The idea here is that wealth isn't something you go out and hunt just for your own status. It's a responsibility. It's something you manage, carefully and wisely, for the people who will come long after you.
So the end goal couldn't be more different. For most, life is about chasing income, chasing status. But with stewardship, the goal is to hold a generational trust. It's understanding that one stupid decision could erase a legacy, but one wise decision can preserve it for 100 years.
And all of this, the character, the resilience, the quiet power, the stewardship, it all builds up to this one final overarching role, the guardian of the future. This is what ties it all together. Think about it. The modern goal for most families is to raise independent kids who can go out and make it on their own. And that sounds great. But the problem is, you can end up with a family that's just a collection of successful individuals,
connected by blood, but not by any shared mission or values. The old money playbook defines the firstborn's job completely differently. They're not just an individual looking out for number one. They are the guardian of the family's code, a living example for their siblings, a moral anchor, not just a financial one, and ultimately, the leader who will guide the family into the future.
And this quote just says it all. Civilizations don't collapse from lack of money, they collapse from lack of leadership. In this playbook, the family is treated like its own small civilization. And that really elevates the firstborn's role from just being personally successful to ensuring the survival of the entire family.
And that brings us to the ultimate choice, the one decision that really defines everything. Are you raising your children to be accepted by the world, to fit in, to get that external validation? Or are you raising them to have such a strong internal compass that the world, with all its pressures, simply cannot control them?
Because at the end of the day, that choice is what this entire playbook is about. So, we'll leave you with one last question to really think about. Is the foundation your family is building today strong enough to last for just one generation or for many?